Aha! Welcome back. We said we'd do it, didn't we? we had a bit of fun on Twitter earlier. Craig Denton seizing on the fact that it's Nick Partridge and Alan Biggs here. Welcoming you back to part two of our special historic football show. Historic Hallam FC's manager Craig Denton over there, and Nick Partridge from Sheffield City Council, the head of Sheffield City Libraries, and really kicking the ball off in the right direction to doing far more to shout about and celebrate the football heritage of Sheffield. Craig, we'll start with you in this part, because I've been down to Sandygate quite a lot, and your team's riding high, second in the table, scoring a phenomenal number of goals. In my opinion, the influx of supporters isn't entirely because of that. It isn't entirely because they're seeing you win most of the time. And I know you want to win as a manager, but as a football club, do you take on board that key difference there, that what people want is to be entertained?
Yeah, I mean, at previous clubs, it's been a little bit different. It's about, winning at all costs. I mean, for me, myself as a manager, I always want to win. I just think with Hallam and how they get the local community involved and all the volunteers. You mentioned at the break then about us getting beat by Rosington 5-1.
Yeah.
For me, there was I feel a bit of unhappy that we've lost the game. But the bar at the end of the game was still quite busy, and people having a chat and having a few drinks, and it just seemed like there was not necessarily happy with the result, but the performance of a football match. It was entertaining. There was goals, there was tackles. It sort of felt like it's not the be all and end all of the result, which I think is a bit of a unique atmosphere, to be honest. It
must be hard to square with your role, which is to win.
Yeah.
But there isn't that obsessiveness, there isn't that mania surrounding the game. I never hear people around me saying, "Oh, Denton's useless and clueless. He doesn't know what he's doing." I never hear people slagging off the players. And if you lose, you lose. That night you were talking about against Rosington Main, I went to that game.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it, but they played you off the park.
Yeah.
They absolutely outplayed you.
Yeah, really good side.
Yeah.
Really good side. But we sort of keep all that sort of in the changing room where we're upset and not happy about results. But as soon as the game's finished and you go into the bar and there's supporters there and the volunteers there, you sit down and have a beer, and it's that sort of like you said, that family atmosphere. And sort of go-to football club. Again, if you are falling out with your Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United, you're always welcome to come down to Sandygate.
Have you fallen out with your Sheffield Wednesday?
I've been a little bit disappointed, Alan, yeah, I'll have to admit. I've seen today about the early bird season tickets. I think just shows a little bit of disconnect for me, as I'm a Sheffield Wednesday supporter. I've worked for Sheffield Wednesday. I've had a season ticket for many years at Sheffield Wednesday, and I just feel at the moment it's quite a bit of bad taste. Coming up to Christmas.
And there's a 1 week window or something.
Yeah, a really
to
short.
buy these.
Yeah, and I know, like in
tickets,
previous.
they pegged the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it £450 for an adult to sit in a North Stand or something for the season or something like that? But I know in previous seasons, I can't even keep up. They're offering different, season ticket packages, and people have been owed for what they paid several years ago before the pandemic, and I just think it's a little bit of a mess, to be honest.
It's very hard to follow, very complex, and what used to be quite simple is now a head-scratching exercise, really, when it comes to buying season tickets. Although I suppose if you do buy one in that narrow window and Wednesday were to win promotion to the Championship, you get what would be at face value a very good deal. Let's hope they do.
I just think it comes across a lot of Sheffield Wednesday fans, again, like a bit of a disconnection between the chairman, the club, the fans, really loyal fans, to be honest.
And this is why that there is that great connect going on with you, with Sheffield FC, with Handsworth, with Penistone Church, with Stocksbridge Steels, you name it. Most of these clubs have got higher attendances now. I'm going to go and watch Sheffield on Saturday. They're at home to Pontefract Collieries. I've not seen them this season. It's just the way the fixtures work out, but I'm working Friday night at Rotherham, but not working Saturday, so it's a great opportunity. Right, back to you, Nick, and back to, well, I don't know, you brought loads of props into the studio tonight. Dare I pick up this trophy here?
Please do.
Which actually, I'm just looking on the monitor there, under the lights, looks a little bit gleamier and brighter than it does when you're actually here, because you need a bit of silver polish on this, now that we've discovered. This is, again, from 1883, and it's inscribed with winners' names there. And when we were discussing it, I don't know if we should admit this, we were discussing it earlier. I said to you, is that silver? And you said, oh, no, I don't think so. And I said, oh, it must be pewter then. And you took off the lid, and there was a hallmark.
Might just be the lid.
You reckon it's just the lid that's silver?
But I mean, this is a fabulous piece of silverware or electro. I don't think it's EP&S or the electroplate on nickel silver, as my grandmother used to call her cutlery.
Right.
But it's a case in point. We have been given this thanks to Davy Slater and John Wilson, but we can't put it on display in the Football Archive because of its value. Right? We are a library. We're open to the public. We need support in terms of secure cabinets and things like that. They don't come cheap.
No.
Hidden hinges, alarms, all that sort of thing, and the pressure on my staff to make sure this is, we need a secure place. This is why we need a proper, visitor centre where we can display these things. It's not the only piece of silverware we've got. No. We've also taken into the archive all the archival documents from Sheffield and Hallamshire FA, which is the oldest county FA in the world, and they very kindly donated to the city their archive. It was, a fabulous resource that we can now mine for historical information. We can digitise it, we can share it, and with it has come some of their silverware and cups as well, and we'd love to put those on display. But we're the council, we've got other responsibilities. Sheffield, we need your help to actually secure some of this stuff for our heritage, for our, that item in the journal said from Creswick to Nathaniel Creswick, I've established a football club to which all young Sheffield come and kick. We want young Sheffield to understand their heritage, to come and see these things. And that's
there's still a lot of this stuff out there somewhere that you're trying to pull together. Again,
going back to Martin Westby, he's fantastic. He actually found a cup which, I've forgotten the name of it, but basically it was the South Yorkshire Inter-Club trophy.
County Cup, I think.
Thank you very much. Yeah. And that was a Sheffield and Hallamshire FA Cup, and it was last played for in the 1990s. Barnsley won it, took the cup and promptly lost it. So it turned up on eBay. Martin spotted it, had a chat with Sheffield and Hallamshire. Is this it? And they'd still got the base, so they knew that it was, basically. Had a word with the person who was selling it, saying, I don't think you should be selling that. Actually, anyway, they came to an agreement. So that is now within the city. It's been relocated. That heritage which we thought was lost is now come back. And the more we publicise this, the more we will find those stories will start coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great potential. You said it was worth a lot of money. Can you hazard a?
We're having to get it valued. Obviously, right. We can't, put it out there until we understand it, insurances and stuff like that. And we would love to be able to do it for the Women's Euros. That's the sort of time frame. We've also had a promise, or Martin, when we found to have these cleaned. Because the original FA Cup was created in Sheffield. It's another Sheffield first, and so that that silversmith is still around or whatever, and I'm sure would be willing to make that look brand spanking new again.
Yes. Well, it's. I mean, touch wood, and we've got to get it out of the building yet. There's not a dent or anything, disfiguring that trophy that I can see. A little bit of polish would just make it look fantastic.
Yeah.
And it really
and it's not the only one. That's the point.
Right. It's absolutely great to see. Hallam have got the Uden Cup, which is historic. First
world's oldest football
trophy, which of course, by arrangement, you could also display, couldn't you?
Or maybe a copy. I think even that would be a bit too precious for us.
That was valued at something phenomenal at one time. Yeah. That really was. Talk about the women's game, but also wartime. We were chatting on the phone, and that there is a rich history of women playing football going way back here. And wasn't it a case that women working in the munitions factories, of which there were many in Sheffield during World War II, and I think even earlier than that, were playing really competitive organised football.
There's a great video that's been done by Football Unites Racism Divides Third, who are based in the city. Ruth Johnson has put together a great little video. It's out there on YouTube. Hopefully we can get the link. But it sort of traces some of the early games of football, which are in our archive. So we hold the archives for all the papers and things like that. So the research has been done. I think it was a guy called Alex Jackson, who's actually an archivist at the National Football Museum, but he likes Sheffield. He's been digging it out. So he said to Ruth, there's some stuff here about women's football, and she did some more delving and came up with this great story about the 1916 Boxing Day match, which was between Vickers, which was the shell manufacturer in Sheffield. They have different munitions sheds, basically shed A and shed B, and they had and the girls were obviously, and the women were working hard to produce the ammunition for the war effort, and also had a great footballing ethos and wanted to play, and they wanted to raise money for veterans. So this is 1916 Boxing Day. They had a match, and I think it was down at Carbrook, if not on where the Sheffield Hallam sports ground is on Bawtry Road down at Tinsley. It may have been there, and it had 10,000 people came and paid to come, raised hundreds of pounds for servicemen. 10,000 people came to watch two women's games, and the press article is very, you'd expect from the time, a bit disparaging.
Patronising.
Yeah, and obviously a great event and a great fan. It wasn't the only one. There are many occurrences of these charity matches, and of course women's football was massive up until the FA ban in 1921. They sort of decided that no, women shouldn't be playing on their ground, so they put a ban in for 50 years. For 50 until 1971. I was born. I presume you were there, Alan.
Just about in 1971.
You can't believe that the FA, it took until then to say no. Let's celebrate women's football.
I think it is staggering. It is when you consider that history. It is absolutely staggering and ridiculous that it's taken all this time. Go back to you, Craig, just briefly. It's not win at all costs, even though to you, you're not doing your job right unless you are winning more than you're losing. You play, should I say, a somewhat kamikaze style, cavalier style, which I think is great, and I think it's the reason, or one of the big reasons, why you're attracting the crowds that you do. Does that go against the grain, or is that something naturally within you? That's what the football you want to play and want to see?
I think you speak to any manager at any level, they'll always want to be, on the front foot and, scoring goals and this attacking team. Got really lucky in our recruitment this year. Got some young attacking footballers and some experienced one. The likes of Chris Wood and Aaron Wilson, Liam Riles, Kieran Watson, all these attacking players where what you sort of do as a manager is look to see what resources you've got and try and squeeze them into 11 where you think is probably your best team.
And you're having to leave somebody out.
Yeah, people, the subs, they buy into it. It's a squad sort of push really. Everyone's on the same page. But yeah, we try and score and be entertaining and make it exciting for people to watch.
You certainly do. I mean, it's a hobby horse of mine. I don't know why it doesn't happen more often higher up, but you regularly leave three men on the halfway line when you're defending a corner or a free kick, and you've got that attacking outlet straight away, and that keeps the game elastic. I don't know why higher up in the league you don't see that very often.
No, it's calculated risk. We believe that our keeper's going to come and collect it and be able to get us on the counter attack. We believe our centre halves are going to go and win a header and again get us on the front foot and get us on the counter attack. So we install a little bit of lots of belief in our players that we want to play that attractive football, but also we can sit deep and be compact and make it hard for teams. If we get a club higher in the league, even in the league above, come in a cup game. You know, we have to be adaptable and change the way we play slightly, but you know, we still want to go with those 3 centre forwards and attacking play. So
yeah, sometimes you say I have to leave them out, and quite often I say, "Oh, Aaron Wilson's on the bench," and I think individually he's the most exciting. I may be wrong, but the most exciting player you've got.
Absolutely, we had lots of interest from local football clubs who play at the league above. But Aaron has got his head switched on, and he just wants to play football. He wants to finish the season off with Hallam. You know, if he was in a different position, you know, he may have left us and. Several other players.
I heard Worksop was strongly interested in him, and I kept looking out for that. And every time Worksop said they got a signing to announce, you know, one of these teaser things, join us in and out, we're signing, I kept looking at it thinking it'll be Aaron Wilson, but no, he stayed with you.
Yeah, I think, you know, when you've try and build up a relationship with players, and you can be honest and you can be upfront. You know, previously I've been a manager of Worksop Town and at that particular step in football, and I supported him and helped him, and you know, an opportunity to go and play higher, I think every player should go and grasp it at the right time. And I think Ivan just thought to himself that, you know, to see the season through, especially where we are in the league and attendances, why would you not want to play for Hallam?
I mean, even Worksop's a town of a population of about 50 odd thousand, might even be more than that, and you're getting bigger crowds than they are, I think, which, you know, is quite astonishing. And Chris Salt, who's a big centre half, you wouldn't want to meet him down a dark alley, I'll tell you, you know, on a Saturday night or any night of the week, and he keeps scoring goals. He's got 2 last night, didn't he? I mean, you must have 4 or 5 goals for you, maybe more.
Yeah, he has. He's got 4 or 5 goals in it. Yeah, he has. He's done quite well. He's a centre half who obviously started his trade at Sheffield United, and then he sort of moved on through to, you know, like Gainsborough and other football clubs. I had him at Barton Town and pinched him a couple of seasons back. He's a local lad.
There's a lot of interloyalty here between you and these players, and this is why you're keeping them together, which is great. Where are your football loyalties then, Nick? I mean, you live at Retford now. This is coming to it now, isn't it? I'm going to ask you about Sheffield Wednesday in a minute, but first of all, where are your football loyalties?
I married into a Unitedite family.
Right. It's okay. That levels it up. That levels it up.
When I was younger, it's one of those things, you know, it was all Chelsea, Leeds and whatever. I was at Arsenal, red and white then, because my father was working for Bob Wilson's uncle. It was some weird, you know, you have a funny relationship, don't you? You know, because Retford, you know, I didn't know Retford Town from anywhere, you know, he thought, oh, I'm going with them. Anyway, so fortunate to marry into a Unitedite family, and they took me along to a number of games. In the 90s, I had a season ticket. I was on the cop before the seating was there. And I remember going to the matches and I thought, I haven't got a footballing brain, because on the coach on the way home, everybody was talking about, somebody had a fantastic game, created a lot of space, moved off that. You know, when they went from 4-3-3, and I thought, I didn't see any of that. When he went in the goal at the other end, that's when magic, you know. And I watched it like 9-year-olds played. Well, that's an insult to 9-year-olds. Well, a 5-year-old played it, you know. But the atmosphere and the joy and going to play Wednesday, went down to the FA Cup semi-final back in the 90s, you know. And it's great to have that rivalry. And people say, you know, Sheffield, you'll never get above that rivalry, but we will, because we have to, because you've got families where you've got Unitedites and Wednesdayites and Hallamites and Sheffield FC and everything. We have to be a family of Sheffield that actually says we celebrate football.
Come together. I think the whole city can come together under that banner without... There are a few other things that they can get together on, but that one for sure. Craig, an Owls fan, look, had last night not happened, losing 3-0 to a home to Hartlepool in the Papa John's Trophy. We'd have had an entirely positive conversation, I think, about Darren Moore's team and the way it's shaping. What are your impressions?
Yeah, I thought, you know, I went to the game against MK Dons the other week, and I thought a really entertaining game. I thought they deserved 3 points. So when you're expecting to sort of kick on and then have a bit of disappointment, I know he changed a few of of the team in the starting 11, but you expect to sort of kick on. So a little bit disappointing, but I'm sure you know, Darren Moore's got bags of knowledge and experience and with a little bit of patience, I think it will come together, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he does need that patience. 15 new players and integrating them, but it seems to me that having lost several centre-halves through injury, he's had to come up with an ultra-attacking way of playing to play to the strengths of his squad, and I think it's done him a favour indirectly, because the team is far more attacking, and apart from last night, they're playing their game and letting the opposition worry about them.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a few games on TV prior to the MK Dons game, and you could just see that change. I mean, the MK Dons I thought were really attacking minded. I thought Bannon, who was excellent, who goes and gets in the pockets and picks up the ball and plays forward, and gets you playing and ticking over. I thought it was really exciting, and that's a little bit of momentum sort of kicks in, and I think that's why the supporters were a little bit disheartened from last night's result. Yeah,
I suppose you want the shadow squad to be pushing, and when players get an opportunity, the team now virtually selects itself.
Yeah.
Which is not what Darren Moore wants, although I did feel he was a little bit confused and maybe, I don't know, a little bit intent on making sure that nobody was upset and that everybody got an opportunity earlier. Now it's become a clearer focus. So, our focus for the last, best part of an hour has been on putting Sheffield is on the map, but it's, people outside the city do not know where football originated from. And that is an indictment, isn't it? That really is an indictment. So if you have your way, within what sort of time period do you think you could ask anybody in this country who's remotely interested in the game, and they would say, yeah, that's Sheffield?
I think the ambition should be worldwide. I think we have to celebrate this city worldwide. What else, we've had steel. On everybody's table was a piece of cutlery made in Sheffield for many years. It isn't the case anymore. And talking to John Wilson, who's recruiting students from, say, South Africa or whatever, and that's where Sheffield is, they don't know. Oh, steel, they don't know. Oh, it's the place where football was started. Wow. Bang, they're interested.
Yes.
That's the market. It's a worldwide market. We'll always have our rivals.
It's an open goal, isn't it?
We can score. Even I know that, and I was listening to you, and I didn't know what pockets were, and I thought that was snooker. But anyway, we can score, and we've got to score big because the city, deserves it, needs it. And actually, it is something we can celebrate. We can be really proud of, whether we're Wednesdayite, Unitedite, or whatever. This Steel City created this fantastic game, which we call football, has this heritage, has this feel that actually excites people. When we had the Football Treasures Day, we had all the sort of international shirts hung up around the FA Cup, and all the students, the international students, were coming and having their photos taken, their selfies with their thing. They come with that pride, and they come to a city, the first city of sanctuary, that actually created the game which they know in their home as well. So it's a fantastic place to attract people.
We can score, and we've got to go big. And on that note, I think we'll say cheerio to you. It's been thoroughly illuminating and a great pleasure to welcome somebody on the inside. I don't think we've heard an awful lot from Sheffield Council on this, but Nick Partridge, head of Sheffield City Libraries, is doing more, in my opinion, than talking a good game. I think he's playing a good game as well. It's been a pleasure to see you. Craig Denton, keep the good work going. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.